When the cold months roll in, the garden falls silent and the soil surface freezes. It's a time of dormancy, leading many gardeners to wonder about the hidden world beneath. Do the worms that keep our soil alive and fertile make it through the harsh winter, or do they simply vanish until spring? I had that exact same question. Knowing how crucial these engineers are for healthy soil, I decided to find out for myself. I set up a small experiment, tracking the worms in my garden from the first frost to the spring thaw. What I discovered didn't just provide an answer, it fundamentally changed how I garden forever. Winter is an incredibly challenging time for life underground. The ground freezes, food is scarce, and survival is a daily battle. But earthworms have evolved some truly fascinating strategies to endure the cold, from burrowing deep below the frost line to entering a state of suspended animation. Understanding these tactics is the key to helping them, and keeping your soil ecosystem thriving year-round. One of the biggest myths in gardening is that worms die off completely in winter. The truth is, most worms don't die, they hibernate. The soil itself acts as a natural insulating blanket, protecting the complex ecosystem that lies just beneath our feet, waiting for spring. As soil temperatures fall below 50 degrees, they enter a state of diapause. Their metabolism slows dramatically to conserve energy, and they instinctively move deeper. They burrow well below the frost line, seeking a stable zone where the ground remains unfrozen. In my backyard test, the surface froze solid, but a foot down, the soil stayed insulated. The worms were still alive, curled into tight knots and patiently waiting for the thaw. Even if adult worms can't escape the freeze, nature has an ingenious backup plan: worm cocoons. These tiny lemon-shaped capsules are lifeboats for the next generation. Each contains embryos suspended in a nutrient-rich fluid, and the tough outer layer provides remarkable protection against the cold, though they can still freeze solid in extreme conditions. My own experiment confirmed this. Cocoons I buried under a protective layer of mulch hatched successfully in spring, while those left exposed to hard frost didn't survive. This proves that insulation is key. A simple layer of mulch can save your entire worm population and ensure a healthy garden next year. Not all worms go to the same depth in winter, it depends on their species. Red wigglers stay near the surface and need protection, while night crawlers dig deep vertical tunnels several feet below, where it stays above freezing. In my garden, I found night crawlers alive 2 feet down, right under a thick mulch layer. A thick blanket of mulch or compost can mean the difference between life and death for worms. In my test beds, bare soil froze solid, but under composted mulch, worms were still active beneath the frost line. The compost released gentle warmth as it broke down, keeping their habitat livable all winter long. If you keep a compost bin outdoors, your red wigglers might disappear during freezes, but their cocoons survive. By spring, new hatchlings return, ready to restart your compost cycle. To help them, insulate the bin, top it with leaves, and keep it moist but never wet. Frozen water suffocates worms. When soil warms to about 50 degrees again, worms wake up hungry. They start feeding on decayed matter, turning it into nutrient-rich castings just as your plants begin to grow. In my beds, the mulched sections came back to life weeks earlier than the bare ones. To help worms thrive next winter, feed your soil early with compost or aged manure, then cover it thickly with mulch. Avoid heavy digging late in the season. Worms need stable tunnels to retreat safely. In raised beds, line the bottom with mulch or cardboard to hold warmth longer. Yes, worms can survive winter if we give them a little help. They're tougher than they look, built to endure long, cold months underground. When you protect worms, you're not just saving them, you're preserving the heartbeat of your soil. If you found this guide helpful, hit subscribe and share it with your gardening friends.